du monde, survoisé par des vies, des vies, une voix du monde, survoisé par des vies, des vies, tomber votre corps par retourner votre énergie, retourner votre énergie, une voix du monde, survoisé par, survoisé par.
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
Une voix du monde, survoisé par des vies, des vies, une voix du monde, survoisé par des vies, des vies, tomber votre corps par retourner votre énergie, retourner votre énergie, une voix du monde, survoisé par, survoisé par.
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
Une voix du monde, survoisé par des vies, des vies, une voix du monde, survoisé par des vies, des vies, tomber votre corps par retourner votre énergie, retourner votre énergie, une voix du monde, survoisé par, survoisé par.
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. situation. I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
Loi du monde, surface et défi, retrouver le silence. Loi du monde, surface et défi, retrouver le silence. Tomber votre corps par retrouver votre énergie, retrouver votre énergie, loi du monde, surface et surface et
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
Loi du monde, surface et défi, retrouver le silence. Loi du monde, surface et défi, retrouver le silence. Tomber votre corps par retrouver votre énergie, retrouver votre énergie, loi du monde, surface et surface et
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
Loi du monde, surpassément, c'est fini. Retrouver votre naissance. Loi du monde, surpassément, c'est fini. Retrouver votre maison, retrouver son sauvetage. Tomber votre corps par retrouver votre énergie, retrouver votre énergie. Loi du monde, surpassément, surpassément.
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
Loi du monde, surpassément, c'est fini. Retrouver votre naissance. Loi du monde, surpassément, c'est fini. Retrouver votre maison, retrouver son sauvetage. Tomber votre corps par retrouver votre énergie, retrouver votre énergie. Loi du monde, surpassément, surpassément.
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
Loi du monde, surpassément, c'est fini. Retrouver votre naissance. Loi du monde, surpassément, c'est fini. Retrouver votre maison, retrouver son sauvetage. Tomber votre corps par retrouver votre énergie, retrouver votre énergie. Loi du monde, surpassément, surpassément.
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
Loin du monde, sur vos épaules, c'est fini. Retrouvez le silence. Loin du monde, sur vos épaules, c'est fini. Retrouvez le silence. Retrouvez le silence. Envahir votre corps par retrouvez votre énergie. Retrouvez votre énergie. Loin du monde, sur vos épaules, sur vos épaules.
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
Loin du monde, sur vos épaules, c'est fini. Retrouvez le silence. Loin du monde, sur vos épaules, c'est fini. Retrouvez le silence. Retrouvez le silence. Envahir votre corps par retrouvez votre énergie. Retrouvez votre énergie. Loin du monde, sur vos épaules, sur vos épaules.
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
From the Green City of the Philippines, Pasig City. The inaugural edition of Queen of the Homeland International. Presented to you by the Homeland International. In part with PowerSense.
We are still here at Brixton Place, Capitolio, Pasig City, located in the heart of the Philippines' Green City. Tonight, we will witness the coronation of the inaugural edition of the Queen of the Homeland International 2022. My name is Basha De Losa, your host for tonight, and with me is Nicole Segovia, who will be our background commentator. How are you there, Nicole?
Good evening, Basha. Oh my God, this is such an amazing opportunity to be here with you guys tonight. Seeing all these women from all around the world competing for the inaugural Queen of the Homeland International is such a huge platform that we are very excited to showcase to you. Seeing them preparing and showing us their talents and their unique personalities, their backgrounds and culture. I cannot wait to see all of these women walk the stage and perform with 100% of their efforts. Now, going back to you, Basha.
And without further ado, here are our candidates.
Democratic Republic of Congo, Chirac Emily. Malaysia, Serene C. Overseas Filipino Community, Princess Kim Santillan. Philippines, Franz Castro. South Africa, Andrea Alexis Cupido. Zimbabwe, Leona Zibanda.
The Homeland International started in 2010 as a nationwide search in the Philippines. Through the years, the organization has advocated different causes, empowered thousands of Filipino youth, and worked hard for the benefit of Filipinos, especially for those who are in need. After more than 10 years, the organization has decided to amplify its voice and reach wider audience. For the first time, delegates coming from different countries all over the world are competing for the inaugural edition of the Queen of the Homeland International. This global expansion will not be possible if not with the help of the national directors across the globe. Before we officially start the competition, we would like to recognize our global partners to promote an empowered, inclusive, and diverse world. Our first edition will be held virtually, and the candidates were given the chance to compete without the need to travel. This year's virtual edition is our way to introduce Queen of the Homeland International in the global community. The winners will be given a seat in the organization and will be tasked to spearhead projects to promote youth empowerment, inclusion, and diversity. Let us know more about our candidates. Ladies and gentlemen, the candidates' introduction videos.
Democratic Republic of Congo, Chirac Emily.
My name is Mwetu Eric. People call me Chirac Emily because I am a transgender woman originally from Democratic Republic of Congo and currently living in Nairobi, Kenya as a refugee. On March 15, 2021, I got burned in my house by a homophobic. Luckily, Good Samaritans passed by when they saw smoke coming out of my compound. They came to rescue, but the fire is already everywhere, so I passed through a window in the backyard. I managed to survive the fire, but I got some injuries. Despite of the incident, the landlord fined for the damages on the property which was destroyed by the fire. I got support from the community to pay this fine, so I came out strong after the whole situation was resolved. The following month, April 2021, we lost a community member who passed away in a hospital in Nairobi. She was burned in her house at Kakuma camp. I therefore went to the safe house where he was brought to mourn. I didn't know what was going on, but when I got there, the police arrived and we got arrested. I realized that the people staying at that safe house had set people up by telling the police that they were mistreated. I told him not to include me since I was only visiting for a vigil, but to my surprise, he never spared me. It got worse because it escalated to court. I was taken with them to Langata prison since I wasn't able to pay a fine of $100 as I never had documents supporting my stay in Nairobi. I spent a whole month in prison. I moved to a friend's house who let me stay for a while until I got support and moved to a smaller apartment. I tried to look for a job to support myself, and luckily, I was hired as an ambassador of Yellow Moon Marketing. 3 months after, I was on my way home from work, and at around 9 o'clock in the evening, a homophobic strangled me, beaten me and held my mouth so I couldn't scream for help. A car passed by and the driver helped me fight the homophobic and he drove me home safely. On our way home he asked me why I was being beaten up, but it was hard for me to explain that I'm transgender woman, so I just confessed that I didn't know the reason. I was so devastated because of this attack and I felt that it is unsafe outside. I later decided to dress like a Muslim to avoid people's attention and for them to avoid questioning my gender. Problems continued as I became so sick from November to December. I wasn't able to get any help around and I decided to go back to Congo. On my journey, Ugandan police stopped the bus and asked passengers for identification cards. I only had refugee documents and I don't have any IDs since I left underage. I was arrested and taken to police barracks in Mbarara, Uganda for a week. On January 5, 2022, I was taken to court and the magistrate said whoever was to handle the case is not available till January 17. We were therefore taken to Shima prison for 2 months. It was unfair for us as foreigners that we had to be taken directly to prison before the next date that we were given for court, and when we tried to complain they said things are different in Uganda. While in prison, a friend who was with me when we got arrested died after being sick for a week and lacked medication. I was so stressed during this period. I felt the world was the worst place to be. I hated life. After 2 weeks, we were summoned to court and was sentenced for imprisonment up to 3 years. I begged for pardon and they told me to pay a fine of 10 million Ugandan shilling. I was not able to pay, but I managed to bargain the fine to 7.7 million, but it was still a lot. I decided to ask family and friends to help me out with the bill. After paying the bill, I was taken to immigration office thinking they will let me go, but later I was taken back to prison for a week. I was finally released after a week. I went to Goma, Congo, and I had to spend some time to a hospital because of infections I had due to bad prison conditions. I spent a month under supervision. My mother helped me out with the bills. I need to find a job to earn for a living. I headed back to Nairobi, Kenya, using the money I got from sponsors who funded my transport. I am currently staying at a friend's house, but I only have few clothes to wear, no privacy, and has not been eating well since I don't have job yet. I hope that my story would touch souls to see what a transgender woman is going through. We were abused, judged, and mistreated. It feels really bad not to be accepted in the community.
Good morning, family LGBT community. My name is Shira Kemili. I'm a transgender woman. I'm from DRC Congo, but I'm living in Kenya. I'm a refugee. I'm living in Kakuma. We have two camps, Kakuma camp and Kalbaye camp. But for now, I'm in Kalbaye reception. And the situation for now, it is not good. We don't have food, we don't have water. People are sleeping outside. And the situation about LGBT here, I'm not safe. Many people so homophobic. And I don't have someone to help me. I don't have some organization to help me. And I'm very sick, and I was using hormones. And my hormones, it was finished on Sunday. For now, it was Wednesday. And I have 3 days. I don't have medicine. I don't have food. I'm sleeping outside. We don't have something to sleep there. And please, I was need some help. Kindly. If you know some Samaritan to help me, LGBT community, kindly, I need your help. I need your support. Thank you so much. God bless you. See you.
Malaysia, Serene C.
Hi everyone. My name is Serene C from Malaysia. I'm living in Bangkok right now. I was stuck in Bangkok for 2.5 years, and this is what happened to me. Right, my pronoun is she, but if I catch you guys calling me a that's a compliment. That's a compliment. Alright, I'm a transgender, not a cross-dresser, because I go through HRT. What's an HRT? Human removing his thingy, right? I'm just joking out. Joking. Alright. You're right, hormone replacement therapy. The other thing about me is I do fuck girls. I don't fuck guys. Guys fuck me. No, I'm kidding, I fuck guys too actually. Right, I came out from the closet when I was 19 years old. It's a gradual process, a very slow process. From starting wearing a panties all the way up to right. So, well, I'm a stand-up comedian. For more comedy, follow me on Instagram, simonchong.com. Right? See you guys. Bye.
Overseas Filipino community, Princess Kim Santillan.
Candidate number 2 to compete BS Computer Science at the University of Manila. She is also an indie film actress. She is currently working as a supervisor in a BPO company. Ladies and gentlemen, candidate number 2.
Hi, my name is Princess Kim Santillan. I'm actually here right now. I've been here for 6 months. And I choose to work here and to stop joining Pageants Philippines because, because of the pandemic. I need to work hard, not only for myself, but also to help my family. Thank you.
Today, each and every candidate wants to be remarkable. I may not be the most beautiful and sexy, but I strongly believe that simplicity is the best. And being simple is truly being remarkable.
Philippines, Franz Castro.
In the Philippines, a bakla or bayot is a person who was assigned male at birth and has adopted a feminine gender expression. The term is commonly incorrectly applied to trans women. Bakla are socially and economically integrated into Filipino society, having been accepted by society prior to Western colonization, many of which were held in high regard and performed the role of spiritual leaders known as babaylan, katalonan, and other shamans in pre-colonial Philippines. During the 3 centuries of Spanish colonization, the Catholic Church introduced harsh measures to suppress the shamans. They were maligned and falsely accused as witches and priests of the devil, and were persecuted violently by the Spanish clergy. The previously high status of the babaylan was thus lost. This was followed by American colonization, which introduced the idea that homosexuality and effeminacy was a sickness. Centuries have passed and there is still no national legislation that would protect LGBTQ individuals from discrimination in the Philippines. I am an advocate of gender equality, as everyone is affected by gender inequality. Women, men, trans and gender diverse people, children and families, it impacts people of all ages and backgrounds. Gender equality is when people of all genders have equal rights, responsibilities, and opportunities. We need this urgently. Gender equality prevents violence, and it is essential for economic prosperity. Gender equality is a human right. My name is Franz Castro, a proud trans woman. Your Queen of the Homeland, Philippines.
Zimbabwe, Leona Zibanda.
Hello everyone, my name is Leonas Vanda. I'm a 33-year-old trans woman original from Zimbabwe, Bulawayo, Matabeleland, but currently based in Johannesburg, South Africa, and this is my introduction. I only discovered that I was different when I was 5 years old in primary school. It all started when I began to express differently from the sex assigned at birth. You know, most kids did not understand who I was, what am I doing, and later on I also did not understand myself, but felt so comfortable in my skin when I presented like a girl. That on having said that on its own led to like the bullying, being called names, being isolated by other kids. And I had to live my whole entire childhood even up to high school, just like that, because it felt really so real for me. But the bullying and being isolated, it never ended. Soon after high school, I came across other trans girls that lived exactly like me. By that time, that's when I discovered the information about the LGBTI community, transgender men, transgender women, lesbians, gays, and bisexuals. Then I felt more comfortable in my life. Then soon after, I started to take the journey of fully transitioning. That's when I realized the hardships of being a trans woman in this present world we're living in. It became so tough because I realized that we do not have access to most of the things that the general population has. Things like accommodation. When a trans woman is chased away from home, it will be very scarce for you to find a place to stay unless if you find a shelter. Things like health. We don't have the correct trans-related health services around the world. Most of our trans community people are not able to access HRT. Some of them have to travel to other countries so that they can access HRT. Things like jobs. We don't have employment opportunities, and we don't have access to employment most of the times because we're discriminated against, and in most cases we end up resorting to sex work just to survive. Things like documentations, the correct gender markers. These are some of the things that most of our organizations are still advocating for, but we do not have those things because our policymakers, they don't want to change the policies so that we have this correct documentation. Things like protection in prisons. Our community is not protected in prisons. Trans women are thrown into males' prisons, which is not a good thing. Later on, protection for children in school. Trans kids, they also need protection from the dangers and the harm that these other kids are imposing into their lives, like their mental health is compromised at an early stage. Having realized that we don't have access, I personally am advocating for skills development program for the community, for the trans community. Because without us having skills, it's impossible for us to survive in this harsh world. Most of our trans women are doing sex work. Some of them are begging on the streets. Some of them are homeless. They don't have any places to stay because they don't have anything that they can use to excel and access these things. In our present world, money means everything. With skill, you are able to access money. With money, you are able to access food. You are able to access whatever you want. So I'm advocating that the trans community must get skills development program so that they are able to stand on their own and never have to face discrimination and never have to be discriminated and chased away from workplaces and never have to lack food and be begging on the streets and never have to resort to sex work for survival, but to have a skill that can propel them and take them to the next level. Myself, I survived in the harsh streets of Johannesburg using my skill, the tailoring skill. I'm able, even up to date, is still sustaining me. These are long-term sustainable development goals that can help our community to live at peace and have a harmonious life, just like what the general population has. That is what I'm advocating for, specifically for our trans community, because I am still small. I am not a policymaker. I'm not in organizations, but I've realized that with a skill, one can survive. Thank you.
Tonight, our candidates will compete in the just finished introduction videos, national costume, swimsuit, and evening gown. Their scores for tonight will be added to their preliminary interview scores, which were prejudged a week ago. After combining the scores, we'll be trimming down the candidates, and those who will remain will move on to the question and answer round before taking part in the final look. By the end of tonight's event, we will be crowning our Queen of the Homeland International 2022. Before we proceed to the national costume round, let us meet our selection panel and international committee who has the toughest job for tonight. And there you have it, this year's selection committee. Up next, the National Costume Competition when we return. You're watching Queen of the Homeland International 2022.
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
Democratic Republic of the Congo. Chirac Emily. Chirac is wearing a liputa. Liputa is a style of wearing modern fashion by women in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Liputa means wearing of colorful materials in style. Usually, Congolese women wear fashion of very vibrant colors.
In this national costume, I can definitely see elegance, sophistication, and simplicity. And I'm really very intrigued about the backstory of this national costume.
Malaysia, Serene C.
Malay women wear the baju kurung, a knee-length blouse worn over a long skirt. The blouse is long-sleeved and collarless. Serene chose to wear a blue collarless dress paired with a set of gold accessories to accentuate the look.
Miss Malaysia, oh my god, I can say that the personality is overflowing in this national costume, and I'm really very excited to see if this wins the best national costume tonight.
Overseas Filipino community. Princess Kim Santillan. Princess Kim wears a costume inspired by the element of fire. Fire symbolizes life, creativity, and inspiration in cultures around the world. As a descendant of fire, she wears this costume to celebrate love, warmth, and bravery.
The overseas Filipino community did not disappoint. I mean, it only shows that Filipinos, wherever they go around the world, they will bring everything and all the best that they've got.
Philippines, Franz Castro. Mascota de Zamboanga is a formal gown worn by ladies of the high society during the Spanish colonial period in Zamboanga Peninsula in the Philippines. The dress is characterized by its fitted bodice and an ornately embellished panuelo draped around the shoulders.
The Philippines national costume, oh my god, when I saw that, I was mind blown. I mean, if you could see the details, it's so intricate and it speaks a lot of meanings. And I think this is one of the best national costumes that I've seen in this pageant. This could probably win Best National Costume by far.
South Africa, Andrea Alexis Cupido. Andrea Alexis is wearing a carnival-inspired costume. Cape Town Carnival is a joyous and colorful celebration of all things in Cape Town. Taking place every March, the Cape Town Carnival is an awesome alternative to Rio Carnival with a distinctly African flavor. African culture is a colorful culture.
Oh my gosh, Miss South Africa seeing in that Moulin Rouge national costume, I was totally ecstatic to see that. I mean, South Africa being a nation full of colors and culture and diversity, this costume literally speaks diversity and inclusion.
Zimbabwe, Leona Sibanda. Leona is wearing a modernized Zimbabwean traditional clothing. The brown belt around it represents the rich cultural heritage of the land of the beads, the Great Zimbabwe. It also represents the goat skins that were used back then. The dress is inspired by the majestic Victoria Falls.
African queens did not disappoint, and when I see Miss Zimbabwe with that national costume, I was just silent, totally in awe.
Roi du monde, survois ses paroles, ses vies, retrouver le silence. Roi du monde, survois ses paroles, ses vies, retrouver le silence. Tomber votre corps par retrouver votre énergie, retrouver votre énergie, Roi du monde, survois ses paroles, survois ses paroles.
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
In essence, the swimsuit category of every pageant is meant to gauge the physical attributes of a candidate. As we embrace diversity and advocate for inclusion, we have given all the candidates the chance to use any swimsuit that they are comfortable to wear to diminish the emphasis on physical appearance. Let's kick off the swimsuit competition!
Democratic Republic of Congo, Chirac Emily.
Oh my god, Miss Democratic Republic of Congo with that swimsuit, and oh, have you noticed the legs? I could literally buy those legs.
Malaysia, Serene C.
This queen speaks about courage and bravery, and with that swimsuit, I can definitely see how confident and how sultry she is, and overall it speaks her personality. It's full of hotness.
Overseas Filipino Community, Princess Kim Santillan.
Oh, overseas Filipino community in that swimsuit. Oh my god, I can see her edginess and her sultriness, but with a little bit of spice as well.
Philippines, Franz Castro.
Oh my god, Philippines in that red hot two-piece bikini. I could die for that. I mean, look at that body. I'm speechless.
South Africa, Andrea Alexis Cupido.
South Africa, I can definitely see how confident she is in carrying herself, and I can really see her overall personality in this swimsuit.
Zimbabwe, Leona Sibanda.
Zimbabwe, oh, it speaks a lot of volumes. I mean, Queen of the Homeland International is really about embracing diversity and beauty in all shapes and sizes, and I think Miss Zimbabwe is the embodiment of that.
There you have it, our candidates in their swimsuit. Nicole?
Seeing these ladies in their stunning swimsuits and their fiery performances, I can definitely see that they gave everything that they've got, and they have unleashed all their confidence that they are hiding for the longest time, and I cannot wait for the next round and for me to witness how they're going to slay the evening gown competition as well. Back to you, Basha.
The preliminary interviews measured the wit and intelligence of our delegates for tonight. And since we are all curious about what happened, let's take a look. Take it away, Nicole.
Malaysia, Serene C.
I will be asking you a series of questions, and I will repeat each question twice. The first question: can you share with us what diversity and inclusion mean to you? Why do you think they are essential? Again, can you share with us what diversity and inclusion mean to you? Why do you think they are essential?
Okay, yeah, I think diversity is it's just how it works. It's just nature. There is no such thing as male, female, or something like that. Like it's only through science, making is what you call this experiments through all these species around the world. In nature, it's just how we are. It's just how we are born in it, in a certain way, in a certain thing. It's just society has been taught, if you're born at male, you have to We have to perform, we have to behave like a male. If I'm born like a female, I have to behave like female. So for a male to dress in a pink, it's not allowed, like for female to dress as a blue or jeans pants, slightly is not allowed, so you have to behave according to how society want us to be. So we no longer being behaved like in diverse, we are told how to behave in society. We have this structure for it. So if we do something like that, it's like, oh, this is something wrong, this is out of your what we call out of our behavior, out of what society is expecting out of us, especially religion. So diversity is something, now we are fighting for it, but actually it's just part of our nature. It's just who we are at the core of ourselves. That's what I think. Yeah.
Next question. How do you approach understanding the perspective of other people whose background differs from yours? Again, how do you approach understanding the perspective of other people whose background differs from yours?
Right. I think everybody is just born the way they are. I will approach it like, okay, as a human being. It's like, because I'm into spirituality, so I see people as human first. Then, oh, you are Philippine, I'm Malaysian, I'm Chinese, or he's black, he's white, and all the stuff. It's filled as an ego today as a society. That's when all the fighting started. People see themselves as Russia, and people see themselves as Ukraine, and both of them are, blah 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 blah. So if the whole world, we see ourselves as human first, whatever it is, help each other out, help out the society, make laws that suits everyone, and this is just part of life. Then when we see ourselves as human, then we don't see the differences between each other. But society is so wrong today. That's why I see them as human first, then start labeling them as country, which race, which color skin they're from. That's what I think. Yep, that's what I see actually.
How would you promote inclusion and diversity if you'll become a global ambassador? Again, how would you promote inclusion and diversity if you'll become a global ambassador?
I think I'll go through probably meditation or spirituality, like bring them into their core, the real deep inside you. Okay, this is actually what happened to us actually. Okay, when we were young, when we were born, we don't see ourselves as girls, boy, because we are not educated in that yet. We are not sent to school to tell us what is female, what is male. And so we behave according to what we are. Like 4 years old, I'm already wearing my own panties, stealing bras and all stuff. I do not know what female is all about, but I just like them. I just wore them. It's so me. As we grow up in society, some of the people, because they've been taught this outer world, we call this the outer world, outside of the society. Okay, you have to behave a certain way, you have to wear certain things. So now you have to behave according to what society expect us to be. So if that inner me, it's very far from what they taught me. That means now if I'm Serene C, if I have to behave like male, I'll be very, very unhappy. And for that one, if I get to educate people, right? If your outer core, outer world is expecting you to be somebody you are not, that's when depression start. That's when all this unhappiness. That's when people in group like us that's committing suicide. So I need to awaken them. Like, hey, it's not how society is being. We have been told in this society how to behave, but actually, right, through spirituality, through finding who you really are, then you start to shine. This is how the world is like. This is a beautiful world. People have made it ugly. So government has made it ugly. Religion has made it ugly. So that's why we are behaving, like looking down on each other. We have been looking down on. Right? That's how I will say. I'll tell the world. I'll probably also write a book to awaken, to bring awareness to this. It's just core us. There's nothing. The core us is no female and male. It's just we behave feminine or masculine, right? It's just the outside. People start labeling us. Oh, this is male. Oh, this is she male. Oh, worse than that, And also the other way, because I grew up from the orphanage home. So orphanage home, like the way to motivate the kids, it's just to go back and do some what you call this, activities on some drama, like because I'm a stand-up comedian as well, so I got the stage to talk in front of them and tell them, life is not what you are taught in school or what you expect society. Life is just you being who you are. Once you find yourself, you will really shine. Stop trying to be normal. To motivate them, what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I think that's my answer. Yeah.
What learnings have you acquired on the advocacy projects that you have done in your country, and how would you apply it on projects that you will spearhead globally? Again, what learnings have you acquired on the advocacy projects you have done in your country, and how would you apply it on projects that you will spearhead globally?
Okay, I think in Malaysia, it's a Muslim country. You cannot do a lot of this kind of stuff. If you join the group, they have rights to shut us down. The only thing that I did so far was in Bangkok. I'm a stand-up comedian, so going around and joining LGBT and doing comedy and trying to educate people, trying to make jokes, tell that, actually, this kind of LGBT, it's kind of normal now in society. But in Bangkok, we don't really need that. It's because it's kind of very accepting here, right? We are already spearheading, we're already ahead of a lot of country. It's very normal here. So I would say we're just doing community service, like doing comedy, going, okay, if let's say LALT, there's a group here that I joined them. So when they wanted an event asking me to speak out for people like us, then I'll go there and do them. And I told them to come and see me how I take my HRT, my hormone replacement therapy, how is the process goes, and also tell them I have did one I think YouTube interview with someone that is stated in Bangkok, and told them I would like to bring all these people and all this LGBT or trans. I'll only speak for trans. So when these trans people will come to Bangkok, where should they go to get trans care? And how much it costs. It's not a very expensive, reasonable price. And how does the process go? What is the care you should take? What about the surgery and all stuff? I really help in that sense. It's like getting them to ready them to be themselves. That's what I have only did that. Because in my country, you get into jail for that. Yeah.
Last question. Homeland means one's native land. As a candidate representing a nation, what is so important about love of country? Again, homeland means one's native land. As a candidate representing a nation, what is so important about love of country?
Right. My country, I think the thing that I love about it is my passport is so strong enough. So I have the advantage of moving around. So when I was a cabin crew before, so it was easy for me to move in and out of a lot of countries. So I think, sometimes when I do comedy, when I dress up like that in front of the stage, people see me representing as a transgender from Malaysia. Oh, you're doing here. Wow. And also the other thing is when you work hard enough for yourself, like for example, I work hard enough for my comedy. When you perform well in other country, you just get known, and then you indirectly represent your country and your group of people. It's just that it's automatic. You carry it when you work so hard on yourself first before other thing, and then Malaysia would just shine. And then I think I got into the recent competition, the comedy competition on Gong Show. I got into the final, and then everybody started, wow, thank you, you did well, and the respect that I'm getting, the fame that I'm getting, so I think it's more like this is the only way I got to represent, and it means, right, I'm proud to stand up here and let the other people know, let the other people who are like me know that you can stand, you can do what I do too. Like if you're transgender, don't worry about stepping up on stage and tell people who you really are. People just enjoy you and people just look up at you. As long as you work hard enough on yourself, okay, stop caring about what people think about you. You will represent it very well, very elegantly, very, like happy, proud of being who you are, and you will be automatically very proud of your country and your homeland and representing of pageants, I guess. Yeah.
Overseas Filipino Community, Princess Kim Santillan.
I will be asking you a series of questions and I will repeat each question twice. The first question: can you share with us what diversity and inclusion mean to you? Why do you think they are essential? Again, can you share with us what diversity and inclusion mean to you? Why do you think they are essential?
First and foremost, I think the main reason why we have Homeland International, it is because of inclusivity, visibility, and acceptance. Well, for me, I believe that diversity is like something that everyone that we should accept in terms of course, beliefs, and of course, for someone who is looking for us as an inspiration, because every one person who is watching, like seeing you, you don't know who you inspire. That is why diversity is very for me, diversity is like an eye opener to everyone, that we should accept everybody, or we should accept one another regardless what is the difference in terms of culture, nationality, and whatsoever. Thank you.
Next question: how do you approach understanding the perspective of other people whose background differs from yours? Again, how do you approach understanding the perspective of other people whose background differs from yours?
I approach understanding different people, other people whose background different from me, by knowing them, by not judging them, because we are different actually, but the good thing is, if that person is not really like your attitude, it doesn't mean that person is a bad person or a bad people. And for me to be able to understand and to other is to get to know them, and of course to approach first. Don't wait that person to approach you, but you have to make your first move so that you will be able to know that person well. Thank you.
How would you promote inclusion and diversity if you'll become a global ambassador? Again, how would you promote inclusion and diversity if you'll become a global ambassador?
I will become a global ambassador. I will promote inclusion and diversity, of course, by using my social media, by posting some positive about, of course, the LGBTQ community, about um the knowledge about LGBTQ community, and to show them that I am the person that um seeing things in a positive way, because I believe that not all the people can do great things, but we can do small things with great love. And that love, I will post it on my social media by, of course, loving myself first, then I spread that love through social media, so that all my followers can feel that I am really the global ambassador. And I thank you.
What learnings have you acquired on the advocacy projects that you have done in your country, and how would you apply it on projects that you will spearhead globally? Again, what learnings have you acquired on the advocacy projects you have done in your country, and how would you apply it on projects that you will spearhead globally?
Actually, the learnings that I've done in the Philippines way back 2015, I used to join some um like social work, and of course I attend some um meetings and event about also for the LGBT community, and also about HIV awareness, and also for the children, for the elders. We used to help without asking in return. And I think that is the key. Of course, if I am knowledgeable enough of how I can help others by using event, by using my position as a global ambassador, then I believe it work in the near future. And I thank you.
Last question. Homeland means one's native land. As a candidate representing a nation, what is so important about love of country? Again, homeland means one's native land. As a candidate representing a nation, what is so important about love of country?
Love of country is very important because that is where you came from. And of course, after all, even though of how many how many countries, how many time you visit other countries, at the end of the day, you will go back home with your family, because loving country is like loving yourself, and you can be yourself to other country because you are a Filipino, just like me. You are always bringing the name of that country with you, and other citizens of that country will look at you as a citizen of your country, and with your impact with them will will actually will actually other people from that country will you set an example or set a standard that you are from that country, and that country is so much with loving people, people with respect, people with a good heart. And that's how you show them that the Filipino like me, even though that I am not in the Philippines right now, but I can do is to show them that I represent my country. I show them who am I? I'm from the Philippines. This is who we are in the Philippines. By that, they will acknowledge the Philippines by doing that little action that I show them, that we Filipinos are value resilient, and we are um we are a person, or we are the people of the country who can accept and respect one another. And the good thing about loving your country is that if you love your country, at the end of the day, your country will love you as well. And of course, because of your family, and your family will be very proud of you, not only your family, but in the near future, and at the end of the day, the whole country will proud of you. When they see your name, they saw you as an inspiration, that you represent that country, you are from that country. Then at the end of the day, You will be an inspiration for everyone, not only as a Filipino citizen, but also a citizen from other countries as well. Thank you.
Philippines, Franz Castro.
I will be asking you a series of questions and I will repeat each question twice. The first question: can you share with us what diversity and inclusion mean to you? Why do you think they are essential? Again, can you share with us what diversity and inclusion mean to you? Why do you think they are essential?
For me, diversity is about what makes each of us unique and includes our background, our personality, our belief, and all the things that makes who we are. It is also about recognizing, respecting, and valuing the differences based on our ethnicity, gender, race, religion, ethnicity, or gender identity that we have. We need to embrace everyone's differences for us to have a wonderful and colorful world where negativity will not grow and foster, wherein love, kindness, and respect is above all. Inclusion, it means to say that being part of a group, but it uh, is not enough because we need to have this sense of belongingness. You will experience this inclusion. It might be in school, workplace, or organization that you have been. But it's not enough that you are just not, I mean, you are not, it is not enough that you are just included on that particular group. You need to feel that you are valued and respected and fully accepted, regardless of what you are or your personal characteristic, your gender, race, or identity. Because if you feel that you are belong to it, or if you feel that you are belong on that particular group, then definitely you can bring out the best in you and you can give or show all the potential that you have that is beneficial to the majority. So it is important that we have diversity and inclusion in our life for us to have a wonderful and colorful relationship to each other. Thank you.
Next question: how do you approach understanding the perspective of other people whose background differs from yours? Again, how do you approach understanding the perspective of other people whose background differs from yours?
Just listen to that person. Communication is the key on all the things that we have here. Because if we will if she or he will give his or her idea about a certain topic or a certain thing, you must listen. Then before you give your response to the things that she or he is saying, um, you must listen first, then just provide your um just provide your ideas about it and just communicate well so that there will be no conflict between those you two that different backgrounds or different nationality. Thank you.
How would you promote inclusion and diversity if you'll become a global ambassador? Again, how would you promote inclusion and diversity if you'll become a global ambassador?
Being a global ambassador, it's actually a great opportunity and big responsibility. The platform that we will have for us to promote diversity and inclusion is actually use of social media, which is the most powerful weapon that we have right now. We can create awareness and knowledge to everyone about diversity and inclusion, whatever race that we have, whatever ethnicity, whatever gender or sexual orientation we have. Um, we can give knowledge that we should treat each and everybody equal, wherein there is no discrimination and inequality. And
I'm actually an advocate of sexual orientation, gender identity, and and expression, fighting for the right of every LGBT member. So, being I mean, using social media, I can promote or create awareness about those things that to open the minds of the majority or open the minds of our concerned citizens so that there will be an outcome. Because I believe that if there's an access, there will be progress. And if there will be progress, there will be changes that will happen in our country or society. Thank you. What learnings have you acquired on the advocacy projects that you have done in your country, and how would you apply it on projects that you will spearhead globally? Again, what learnings have you acquired on the advocacy projects you have done in your country, and how would you apply it on projects that you will spearhead globally? My advocacy is actually a sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, fighting for the right of LGBTQIA plus community, which is experiencing kind of prejudice because here in now in this millennial world, we are experiencing inequality and discrimination, which is one of the prevalent issues right now. Being a trans woman, I experience a lot of discrimination, and I believe that through my advocacy, I was be able to help and be a voice of those LGBTQIA members who is experiencing discrimination as well. Uh, because I believe that a human right is an LGBT right, and it's rightful for us to be treated equal respect and opportunity. As long as we eat the same food, we drink the same water, we breathe the same air, we are standing the same land, we are all part of this humanity, and we should treat each other equal respect. Thank you. Last question. Homeland means one's native land. As a candidate representing a nation, what is so important about love of country? Again, homeland means one's native land. As a candidate representing a nation, what is so important about love of country? Important to have a love in our country because if you love your country, then definitely you are able to I mean, if you love your country, then therefore you you know what your I mean what is the background of your country, what is the origin, and country Philippines actually has a lot of your beautiful places, tourist spots, products that we can offer to other countries. And there's a lot of things that we are proud of here. It is not only on those things, but what I love most about Philippines is that um, the people that surrounds it, which is the Filipino, which is being hospitable, not only on the other, I mean other Filipinos, but we are welcoming tourists as well as different race or nationalities. There are a lot of things that we can offer to other countries, and that is the thing that I love most about Philippines. There are 7,641 islands here. Let's go. Let's explore the paradise of one. It's more fun in the Philippines. Thank you.
Zimbabwe, Leona Sebanda.
I will be asking you a series of questions, and I will repeat each question twice. The first question: can you share with us what diversity and inclusion mean to you? Why do you think they are essential? Again, can you share with us what diversity and inclusion mean to you? Why do you think they are essential?
Diversity and inclusion, they, to me, they basically mean that they're very important. It's very important to accept that there is diversity, and it's very important also that people should be inclusive, because people are diverse. I mean, like, you look at the world, we have got We have albinos, we've got short people, we've got tall people, we've got fat women, we've got thin women. You know, we all have these diverse type of shapes and bodies. So inclusion is very important for people to accept that despite people being different, you have to accept that we will never be the same. That also goes on to like the LGBTI community, like the lesbian, gays, and trans. It's very important that people should understand that we can never all be the same. Therefore, inclusion is a must. People must be inclusive and understand, and they must also understand that diversity is a fact, but then also inclusion is a choice. People can also like choose to like be inclusive and sometimes don't choose to be inclusive. But then these like diversity and inclusion, like they are essential because we cannot find the balance. Everyone cannot be the same here on planet Earth. If we were all to be the same, that means we won't find the balance. That's where we talk about the essential part. Because without, like for example, I'm a trans woman. Without trans women, we'll never have queens that are able to guide, you know, the double spirited people that are able to guide and show you the way and teach you some things on them as trans women. Yeah. So that's my first answer.
Next question. How do you approach understanding the perspective of other people whose background differs from yours? Again, how do you approach understanding the perspective of other people whose background differs from yours?
My approach to people whose background is different from mine and people that are not well knowledgeable about my community is I come to an understanding. You know, I create boundaries, first of all, because boundaries are very important. Boundaries create safety for both teams. Like if people like don't understand the type of person that I am, if I create boundaries with them and then try to teach them from a distance, that is much better than for me to enforce and try and instill what I know into their heads by force. It becomes something else. So my approach to these people basically is I have them in my circle, I create boundaries, I teach them slowly but surely. Then if I see that they're not interested in knowing, I just back off because that's a way of like keeping yourself safe from harm and the dangers. Because we all know that if somebody does not have your background, it's not easy for them to just adjust and accept what they see or what you perceive for them to know about you. So you just have to create those boundaries and make sure that you stay safe. Thank you.
How would you promote inclusion and diversity if you'll become a global ambassador? Again, how would you promote inclusion and diversity if you'll become a global ambassador?
I would become a global ambassador. I would promote inclusion via like in making sure that we sensitize the people that have the power to change the policies around the world. Like for example, our governments really are not sensitized on such issues. They don't know much about our issues. Of course, some of the people around the world have been sensitized, but still there's more work that needs to be done because without us not attending the policymakers, the healthcare workers, these people that provide the police stations, the courts, the judges, it's very difficult for the world to be inclusive without us reaching out to these people. I would work in a network whereby I talk to, we work with the hierarchy going down. We sensitize those people, we teach them more about our trans issues and everything, and we teach them about inclusive, that people are different. People have the right to stand before the court of law. Everyone has the right to stand before the court of law, despite gender, despite sexuality, despite height, despite weight. Everyone has got the right to stand before the court of law. So the sensitization to these hierarchy people is very important so that inclusiveness can be there. Without us reaching out to these people, it's not possible for us to have inclusiveness in our world. If I am to become a global ambassador, that is what we will work for. We will work in a network whereby we reach out to the people in power so that they know that diversity is a fact. People are different and inclusion is a choice. So we reach out to them, we teach them about difference, we teach them also about inclusion. You have to include everyone. It doesn't matter height, race, culture, background, anything. Everybody is supposed to stand before the court of law and be represented and be included. Thank you.
What learnings have you acquired on the advocacy projects that you have done in your country, and how would you apply it on projects that you will spearhead globally? Again, what learnings have you acquired on the advocacy projects you have done in your country, and how would you apply it on projects that you will spearhead globally?
So the learnings that I've acquired in my country on advocacy and teaching people about diversity are, for example, we have been told about we briefly when we're breaking down, like for example, in our advocacy, we were working on the LGBTI community specifically. So what we have learned there is to break down, like to unpack the word LGBTI, to describe and teach people how to know on these things, and also to know gender is not sexuality, and also to teach them sex education. For example, what is sex? Most people, when they hear about the word sex, they always think about the sexual intercourse, whereas sex is not the intercourse. Sex is simple what's in between your legs, your biological sex assigned at birth. So most people don't understand those more terms. That's why there's a lot of discrimination and a lot of rejection towards the community, because people have not been given a chance to learn about the basic, really, what goes on with such a community, and also go on like simple things like what's an intersex. Most people don't even count intersex as people. They reject. Why? Because they lack knowledge on such things. So given to work on a global, or if I win on a global platform, my advocacy skills that I've learned will amplify the voice of sex education. Will teach people that there's a difference between gender and sex. There's a difference between gender and sexual orientation. People do not have this information. People are stuck with less information. Their world revolves around having female who's got a vagina and a male who's got a penis, and these two must always be one in terms of sexual intercourse. So they don't go further to understand that sexual orientation is broad. There are bisexuals, there are heterosexuals, there are many types of sexualities outside there, and people don't want to talk more about it. They just shut it down because of their lack of knowledge. So on a global platform, I will amplify the voice of sex education. I would teach the world that us being diverse, us being different, and us being liking different types of things, we need to be inclusive. I will amplify the voice on inclusiveness, even in gender and sexual orientation, all those things. That is what I would do if I win globally.
Last question. Homeland means one's native land. As a candidate representing a nation, what is so important about love of country? Again, homeland means one's native land. As a candidate representing a nation, what is so important about love of country?
As a candidate representing Zimbabwe, what is the love of the country is very important. Remember, when we stand out and say we want to pitch on global platforms, we are looking for a way to also advocate that diversities all over. Like where I'm coming from, I love my country very much. So if I'm doing these things, I'm pushing, like wanting to let people know that trans women are also there in Zimbabwe. For the love of my country, I'm advocating for the rights also of the trans people that are in Zimbabwe. That one day when they reach out, they say maybe I win, then they see that Leona has won. Like I've got a big community that side in Zim. Before I ran away, they knew me. They will be inspired to know. They will be inspired, like really, and then also like the general population as well will know that we have trans people that come from Zimbabwe, and sensitization becomes easy. As a refugee that is here in South Africa, but loving Zimbabwe, I'm doing it so that our voices every day, so that their freedom can be given to them, so that when they approach these policymakers, these big people, these courts, their voices are heard, even if it's going to be a story that's going to help in sensitizing and to bring peace in the country. Because right now there is no inclusiveness. We are killed, like anywhere around the country. We are killed, we are bullied, we are chased out of homes, we are chased out of churches, we are chased out of clubs. You know, we are homeless, we don't have places to stay, we are not given education, we're not given medication, we are not included at all. But for the love of my country, if ever I win this global, yes, it will be good for inclusiveness purposes. Thank you.
The evening gown competition when we return. You're watching the 2022 Queen of the Homeland International Coronation Night.
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
Choosing the best evening gown is critical to ensuring that you have given the competition your very best effort. Along with exuding self-confidence, poise, and grace, their choice of evening gown may be the determining factor of how our judges scores their photographs. However, we have to remember, it's not what the candidates wear. It's always the person inside it. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the candidates in their evening gown competition.
Democratic Republic of Congo, Chirac Emily.
Oh, Miss Democratic Republic of Congo in that evening gown, it really complements her skin tone, and I can really see how she's shining on the stage with that evening gown.
Malaysia, Serene C.
Miss Malaysia, I just gotta say that black is my favorite color, so this would probably be one of my biases. And Miss Malaysia with that evening gown, I could say that she speaks with a lot of confidence and elegance in that black dress. And I could probably ask her and borrow her that gown.
Overseas Filipino Community, Princess Kim Santillan.
Oh my god, overseas Filipino community, I only have one word for this gown: opulence.
Philippines, Franz Castro.
Miss Philippines in that second gown, I was astounded. I mean, she's speaking softness and sophistication and elegance, and I couldn't wait to see her wearing other gowns made in the Philippines.
South Africa, Andrea Alexis Cupido.
Miss South Africa in that black gown, oh my god, I'm having a hard time this time. I mean, there are 2 black gowns already on stage, and I couldn't actually pick which one will I be picking for my favorites list.
Zimbabwe, Leona Sebanda.
Miss Zimbabwe showing her skin and her elegance and how sophisticated she is with that gown. I'm really excited for what's to come for her.
The candidates truly exude elegance on that segment. What can you say, Nicole?
You know, Basha, the evening gown competition sealed the deal, and it only speaks how difficult the judges' job will be after this competition, narrowing it down to 3 after these queens performed with all of their elegance and showing their personality and, you know, showcasing the craftsmanship of the designers from their own countries. Back to you, Basha.
Since the final category is done, the moment has arrived. The elimination. When we return, you're watching the 2022 Queen of the Homeland International Coronation Night.
Roi du monde, surface-moi. C'est qui? Retrouver le service. Roi du monde, surface-moi. C'est qui? Retrouver le service. Retrouver le Retrouvez votre énergie. Retrouvez votre énergie. Retrouvez le souffle. Roi du monde, surface-moi. Surface-moi.
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
And we are back. Before we announce the top 3 semi-finalists, let's announce the winners of our special awards. Miss Photogenic.
Democratic Republic of Congo, Chirac Emily.
Best in Introduction Video.
Philippines, Franz Castro.
In the Philippines, a bakla or bayot is a person who was assigned male at birth and has adopted a feminine gender expression. The term is commonly incorrectly applied to trans women. Bakla are socially and economically integrated into Filipino society, having been accepted by society prior to Western colonization, many of which were held in high regard and performed the role of spiritual leaders known as babaylan, katalonan, and other shamans in pre-colonial Philippines. During the 3 centuries of Spanish colonization, the Catholic Church introduced harsh measures to suppress the shamans. They were maligned and falsely accused as witches and priests of the devil, and were persecuted violently by the Spanish clergy. The previously high status of the babaylan was thus lost. This was followed by American colonization, which introduced the idea that homosexuality and effeminacy was a sickness. Centuries have passed and there is still no national legislation that would protect LGBTQ individuals from discrimination in the Philippines. I am an advocate of gender equality, as everyone is affected by gender inequality. Women, men, trans and gender diverse people, children and families, it impacts people of all ages and backgrounds. Gender equality is when people of all genders have equal rights, responsibilities, and opportunities. We need this urgently. Gender equality prevents violence, and it is essential for economic prosperity. Gender equality is a human right. My name is Franz Castro, a proud trans woman. Your Queen of the Homeland, Philippines.
Best in Swimsuit.
Philippines, Franz Castro.
Best in National Costume.
Philippines, Franz Castro.
Best in Evening Gown.
Philippines, Franz Castro.
Best in Preliminary Interview.
Malaysia, Serene C.
So I see people as human first. Society is so wrong today. That's why I see them as human first. Then start labeling them as country, which race, which color skin they're from.
Power Sense People's Choice Award and advancing to the top 3.
Philippines, Franz Castro.
And now, completing our top 3 semi-finalists.
Malaysia, Serene C. Zimbabwe, Leona Zibanda.
Voix du monde sur vos épaules. C'est fini. Retrouvez le silence. Voix du monde sur vos épaules. C'est fini. Retrouvez le silence. Retrouvez le silence. Envahir votre corps par le chair, retrouvez votre Retrouver son énergie, son radio, sur Radio, sur
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
We're back, and it's time for the final question round for our top 3 semi-finalists. Each of them will be asked the same question. All of them will be given 60 seconds to answer, and the microphone will be on mute once the time has ended. Let's start with
Philippines, Franz Castro.
And here's your question.
What do you think is the biggest problem that the transgender community is facing today? And what can you do to solve it?
Thank you. The biggest problem that trans women or being part of LGBT members that are experiencing is actually discrimination. We are living now on this modern technology wherein there are a lot of changes. Inequality and discrimination is one of the prevalent issues or one of the currently issues that we have here, and not only here in our country, but I know in different countries as well. And I am a living testimony of this some sort of oppression. Since I was young, I experienced a lot of discrimination when I am studying in workplace and sometimes in our organization. That is why I like to give awareness and knowledge about this equality.
Malaysia, Serene C.
And here's your question.
What do you think is the biggest problem that the transgender community is facing today? And what can you do to solve it?
No, I like this question because I have a joke on this one, yeah, we our self-worth and self, what you call this, what's the word? As self-esteem. The way we look at ourselves, we look at ourselves under the normal. Okay, we have a normal line here. Like for example, they do not realize that they are the butterfly. They think that is and the cocoons are the normal people. They are the one who wants to pull the butterfly in, right? They want us to be the cocoons, right? But we see ourselves below cocoon. We see ourselves as caterpillar. That's why you see a lot of all these people who say, hey, you're still a man and all stuff, and we get offended. It's because we see ourselves below, and the worst thing is we're trying to fit in, right? We don't see ourselves as outstanding. You're outstanding. So what if you're trans, but you're the butterfly? People are looking up to you.
Zimbabwe, Leona Zibanda.
And here's your question.
What do you think is the biggest problem that the transgender community is facing today? And what can you do to solve it?
The biggest problem that the trans women are facing today is lack of employment, right? So the reason why I want to talk about employment is because we have been advocating basically for inclusiveness for a very long time. Then I realized that we don't want to be, they don't want to give us, they don't want to include us in most platforms. They always shut us out. Then I came to a point of realizing that if our community can shift and look for answers and not problems, like when they say we are not included, what can you do to be included? you find yourself, you create yourself a job. Like, for example, you do tailoring, you do hairdressing, you do all those things. If I were to win globally, I will help the trans community with skills development programs. No.
Loi du monde, surface des vies, retrouver le service. Loi du monde, surface des vies, retrouver le service. Retrouver son sauvetage. Tomber votre corps par retrouver votre énergie, retrouver votre énergie, retrouver le souffle. Loi du monde, surface du monde, surface des vies.
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
Loi du monde, surface des vies, retrouver le service. Loi du monde, surface des vies, retrouver le service. Retrouver son sauvetage. Tomber votre corps par retrouver votre énergie, retrouver votre énergie, retrouver le souffle. Loi du monde, surface du monde, surface des vies.
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
Before we proceed with the announcement of winners for tonight, let's take a last look to our semi-finalists.
Philippines, Franz Castro. Malaysia, Serene C. Zimbabwe, Leona Zibanda.
Tonight, we are making history as we are about to crown our first ever Queen of the Homeland International. Who do you think will it be?
Voix du monde sur vos épaules. C'est qui? Retrouvez le silence. Voix du monde sur vos épaules. C'est qui? Retrouvez le silence. Retrouvez le silence. Tombez votre corps par le chair. Retrouvez votre énergie. Retrouvez votre énergie. Voix du monde sur vos épaules. Sur vos épaules.
Throw down your guns, throw down your guns in the name of love. I put my hands up. Is this some fucked up situation? I'm feeling like a mental patient. Tell me why my heart can't stop misbehaving.
Our second runner-up,
Malaysia, Serene C.
I will now be announcing the winner for the Queen of the Homeland International. In the event that the title holder cannot fulfill her duties, the first runner-up will take over. Our Queen of the Homeland International 2022 is...
Philippines, Franz Castro.
There you have it, our new set of queens. It has been a wonderful evening. Once again, this is Basha Deloso, and with me is Nicole Segovia.
Thank you so much, Basha, and thank you so much for the Queen of the Homeland International for having me tonight. I cannot wait to witness a new queen's journey to unfold.
See you again next year.